If the whistle blew for the last time today, would you even know who you are without the clipboard? Most coaches wrap their entire identity around a win-loss record, but that's a fragile foundation for a life. We're stripping away the titles to discover the man behind the plays before the lights go out. Hey, I'm Coach Bob Herb. 30 years coaching football and baseball. I retired after the 2024-2025 school year, and I want to be honest with you about something most coaches never say out loud. Nobody prepares you for what happens the day after the whistle stops. Today, I want to talk to you about building an identity that survives the end of your coaching career, because whether you got 20 years left or you're standing where I was a year ago, this is a conversation worth having now, not later. Coaching today doesn't leave you much room to be anything else. Between game film, analytics, recruiting, social media, parent texts at 10 at night, the job doesn't just take your time, it takes your identity. You stop being a person who coaches and you become coach, full stop. 24 hours a day, even at your own dinner table. I can't count the number of big events I missed in my kids' lives because I was busy helping someone else's kids develop. Thank God I married a rock star of a wife. She's the main reason my kids are successful right now. Here's the part nobody warned you about. When that career ends, whether by choice, retirement, or a job that doesn't work out, that silence that follows is enormous. The phone stops buzzing with game plans. The whistle's not around your neck anymore. And if coach was your whole identity, that silence doesn't feel like peace. It feels like a vacuum. I know because I felt it. The start of the next school year right after I retired was tough. Everyone I talked to the majority of the time went back to the grind. I spent my day with my dog. It took a couple months before I realized I needed to find a way to make a difference in lives the way I used to do every day at work. This channel is one of those ways that I came up with. The vacuum I discussed is why compete with character matters so much. Character is the part of you that exists whether or not anyone's keeping score. If your identity is in the win-loss column, you've built your whole life on something that ends the moment the job does. Here's a trap I fell into for years, and I'd guess a lot of you too. Measuring your worth by the scoreboard. A win feels like proof you're good at your job, and consequently good as a person. A loss feels personal, like it says something about you, who you are, not just what happened on a Tuesday or a Friday night. And it's worse now than it's ever been. Everything's public. Everything's commented on. A bad season doesn't just live in your own head anymore. It lives in a Facebook group, a comment section, a parent's group chat. That makes it even harder to separate I coached a tough season from I'm a failure. But here's what I want you to sit with. There are metrics that don't move, no matter what the scoreboard says. Did you show up for your players today? Did you lead with character when it would have been easier not to? Did you make someone better, not just at the game, but as a person? Those are the metrics of the soul. They're true on your best season and your worst one. The scoreboard resets every year. Those don't. We talk about acquiring an attitude of gratitude and greatness. That greatness is never really about the record. It's about what you built in people, win or lose. So how do you actually build something that survives the job ending? You start now, not the week after you retire. Get honest about your core values. Separate them from the sport entirely. Not I value discipline as a coach. I mean, who are you when there's no team to be disciplined for? Integrity, empathy, resilience. These have to mean something to you outside of a dugout or a locker room, or they're not really yours. They're just coaching tools. Then build what I'd call a life playbook. The same intentionality you put into a game plan, but pointed at your actual life, your health, things you're still learning, just because you want to. A role in your community that has nothing to do with the sideline pass. If every ounce of your planning energy goes into the next game plan, you'll retire with no plan for the next 40 years. And this one matters more than it sounds like it should. Change your mornings. If your morning starts with film review and scouting reports for decades, and then one day it doesn't, that's a hole. Start now replacing even 5 minutes of that time with reflection, with something that's just yours. Build the habit before you need it, not afterwards. We expect to engage enthusiastically. Enthusiasm can't only point at the game. It has to point at your actual life too, or it disappears completely the day that game does. Here's something I want every coach watching this to actually believe. The skills that made you good at this job travel. mentorship, strategic thinking, handling a crisis when everyone's looking at you for the answer. Those aren't coaching skills, those are leadership skills. And they're valuable in a boardroom, a classroom, a business, anywhere people need someone who can lead under pressure. So don't wait until you retire to find out what else you're capable of doing. Find something now, a stealth hobby, something you're good at just for you. No scoreboard attached. Build relationships outside the coaching world. Every person in your life doesn't have to be another coach or another athlete. Some of the clearest perspective I've gotten on what actually matters has come from people who never set foot in a dugout or on the field. This is your version of respect and responsibility. You owe it to yourself, not just your program, to develop the whole person, not just the coach. Nobody remembers your record. They remember how you made them feel. The rings and trophies sit in a case and gather dust. The kid you believed in when no one else did, he remembers that for the rest of his life. That's your actual legacy. It was never the scoreboard. So start building your mentorship bridge now before you retire, not after. Stay connected to young coaches. Keep showing up for people, even once you're not required to do that. That's not clinging to the past. That's making sure your wisdom keeps working long after your title's gone. And here's the goal, the real one. Become a person who happens to coach, not a coach who happens to be a person. Because when the lights finally dim on that career, whenever that day comes for you, I want you standing in that tunnel whole, not empty, not wondering who you are without the clipboard. Whole. I'm speaking as someone who's already walked through that tunnel, and it's tougher than you could ever imagine. When you're in the middle of the career, you don't think about it at all. You really should. If you're years away from retirement, start building it. If you're close to it, and you've already been through it like I have, I hope this gave you some language for something a lot of coaches feel but never say out loud. If you want a starting point for evaluating where your program or your leadership actually stands, not just your record, grab the free program health checklist at the ACSN digital store. It's not just for programs, it's a good gut check for you too. Subscribe if this one meant something to you. And in the comments, I want to know, who are you outside of coaching? Tell me one thing that's true about you that has nothing to do with coaching at all. I'll see you in the next one.